Are you looking for some co-op classes for your upcoming fall or spring semester? Well, then this video is for you because we're going to cover 20 easy to implement classes that you can use in your homeschool co-op. So let's get started. Every co-op is different, so you need to find what works best for you and your personal co-op. All of these can cover a wide range of ages. I'm going to give you the suggested age, but know that by adding or taking away or slightly adapting something, it can reach broader age range than this. Also understand that some of these are going to be more suited for like an all year round curriculum, where others would be better for a specific unit, and so on and so forth. I'm going to do my best to explain as much as I can in this quick amount of time. Let's talk about some of my favorite kindergartner and preschool curriculums. First off is one that you can actually make yourself and is perfect if you're looking for a budget option, and that is a Dr. Seuss study. What could be more fun than diving into your favorite Dr. Seuss books? The great part is because you're putting it together yourself, you can select what books you already have in your home library or in your library in your local town. You can pick one book per class period and then go on Pinterest and find a craft, a game, and sometimes a themed snack. This can make a great way to throw together a curriculum for even multiple ages if you want to expand it out into like the first or second grade realm. But if the idea of putting together your own curriculum scares you a little bit, no worries, our next curriculum might be a good fit for you, and that is Purely Preschool. Purely Preschool is designed for preschool students, but maybe a little more geared towards 3 and 4-year-olds or below, and so this is a great one if you have a younger age group. They have many units on a wide variety of different topics, and they have books for each one, activities, crafts, but they're all easy to prep. Best yet, each unit is only $5, and they give you licensing to be able to use it in your homeschool co-op. So no need to buy multiple copies. If you want to see more about what Purely Preschool is, check out the video I did here up in the iCards or down in the description below. Our next resources come from Little School of Smiths. They actually have several unit studies you can use in your homeschool co-ops, and yes, they are licensed to use in your homeschool co-ops without needing to purchase any additional copies, and they have several for this age range. They have Me on a Map, talking about you and your community, your location, cities, states, towns, things like that. They have one called Me and My Body and one called Me in Space. So lots of fun options for you and your children to do. If you're looking for a fun way to incorporate science into your co-op classes, consider the Let's Read and Find Out series. There, each book is on its own topic, and you're able to read that with your kids, and they have activities in the back to reinforce the lesson. They do come from a secular perspective, so just keep that in mind, but there have been so many great ones that we've been able to add to our library. Let's talk about elementary curriculum. First up is our Draw Right Now classes. So with this, what you can simply do is use the curriculum, Draw Right Now. Every student is going to need their own book, so keep that in mind. But when they're going to purchase a book, bring it to class, each book is themed around a certain maybe science subject or history subject. And then in class, you can come together, you can learn a little bit about that subject. You're going to have a sentence or a paragraph, depending on the age group, where you're going to copy, and then you get to illustrate it. And so you can use that opportunity to kind of expand it into an art lesson. It in and of itself is not written as a co-op curriculum, but I think it's easily adaptable. Another fun class for elementary age students, doing a board game class. And this is one that can definitely be flexed and can be going up to middle school and even high school depending on the games that you choose. With this, you would have a selection of games, and depending on how big your class is, you might break them up into groups if you have helpers, or you might just do it all as one group, and you're going to teach your kids different rules to the game and how to play. So in one lesson, you might teach the game, and the next one, they're going to come in and play it. There's a lot to be learned from board games. Actually, if you want ideas on my favorite educational board games, check out this video up in the iCards and down in the description below. Another fun one for the elementary age, or again, it can go up to middle school and high school depending on how you structure it, is a career studies class. So with this, for every single class, you're going to pick a different career. You're going to research what that person does. Maybe if you're able, you can actually get someone from that career field to come in and talk to your class or take field trips to those locations. Also looking up videos on YouTube on that career and learning all sorts of information about this can be a really exciting, fun thing for you to do with your kids. If you are looking for something a little more put together, you could check out Campfire curriculums. They have a whole selection of different topics, and what I love about it is that they actually are each based on, for the most part, different careers. So you can learn about what it's like to be a chef, or you can learn about home defense. You can learn about what it means to be a vet or other exciting things. These do have a workbook element to it as well as activities. And with this, they actually have a special co-op pricing. So the instructor must purchase the unit that they're going to use, but then for only $5 a student, you are able to utilize that in a co-op setting. So it makes it pretty affordable. If you are looking for an art curriculum for the elementary age or maybe early middle school, you could definitely check out Have I Got a Story for You. This curriculum is totally licensed for homeschool co-op use. So again, you don't have to purchase multiple copies, and it has video-based lessons. So you as the instructor would have the children watch the lesson and then do a few activities. This is one that's very easy to adapt for multiple ages. So I really like that, as they have different activities in the workbook that can be based on a child's specific age. If you want to learn more about that, check out this video here. Okay, that brings me to middle school. This is my personal favorite age to teach. And this is my heart and passion. So I'm going to share with you guys a few things I like to teach my middle school. First up is probably my favorite co-op class I've ever taught. And I've taught a lot of co-op classes. And that is Detective Science. This book I got off of Thrift Books. I will try to find the link for you guys and put it down in the description below. But this one has been such a fun one for middle school. It's all about the science around forensics. And so you're going to do all sorts of science experiments with your kids. You're going to learn about the importance of observation skills. You're going to have different experiments that you have your children do. Some are very hands-on, some are ones we talk through. It interweaves real-life examples of different crime cases that were solved by some of these methods. This is the only reason why I recommend it for middle school. If you wanted to edit a little bit, or if you had older elementary kids, you could definitely do it for that. But I would say it's ideal for middle school just because the whole topic of working around crime scenes and some of the examples may be something you would prefer to have a slightly older child do. Another class I really like to do, and this one really could be adapted for any age depending on how you want to do it, is doing a missionary study. Just like some of the other studies I've mentioned, you would pick one missionary per class period to cover. Now this can look a little different. Not Consume Ministries has a great missionary study. This one I do believe needs to be purchased each person their own individual copy, although families are able to purchase a digital copy and print off as many as they need for their individual households. So that might be a great budget option if you have several families in your co-op who have several kids. With those, they correlate with the YWAM books. And these are the Christian heroes then and now. So for some of them, they will have them read the biography beforehand, and then they will discuss it in class. I personally did a summary of the person's life, and then we would watch different YouTube videos on there. We would check out the geography from that particular location and learn about what is the world in that area like now. This one was really neat. It really opened up a lot of the kids' eyes to see what was going on in the world, to see the stories of how God worked mightily. And I like to tie in the personal theme of how each of these missionaries in their stories, how God was preparing them as children or as a young adult for things that they would end up doing for him a lot later. And I just thought this was great to pull in for the kids to start be thinking about how is God preparing me now for things he might have me do in the future. Another great one for middle school, but also can be flexed to any age group truly, is this Teaching the Classics from IEW. So this, you have to purchase the teacher's set for yourself, but then you don't need to purchase anything else for the other students. So it makes it an easy investment for a homeschool co-op. With this, it's actually going to teach you how to walk your kids through proper discussion on books, to discuss and to dig into literature. This method and the things that are taught in this teacher's book can actually be used for little kids with picture books all the way up to high schoolers or even college students with big, thick textbooks. So I really like the fact that this is something that you could utilize. But a book club is a great idea for middle school age and getting them to start discussing literature. There is so much literature out there that has great lessons to be learned. For high school, a couple of favorites that I either went through as a student or I have on my list to go through with my kids is The Art of Argument. We're going to be doing this next year with 8th graders and 9th graders. This is done by Classical Academic Press, and you can check out a video looking into it a little bit more. They just redid the edition. It's written in a format that's very easy for co-ops to utilize. It does have a video portion, so your children will do studying and will do homework throughout the week on their own, and then come to class together to have some teaching, review, discussion, debate, those kinds of things. So this is a great one that they'll have their own homework, but then they'll come together as a class. Speaking of having your own homework and coming together as a class, Apologia is another great one. And this really can go for any age group. But you can have your families reading an Apologia study. Any study will do from them. You can have them reading the study as a family and then coming together at co-op to do the experiments and the labs. This is a great way to get labs in for high school, as most states require you to have labs, but a lot of the supplies are hard to find in single quantities. So you can come together, share some of the expense, and also get to share the experience. Also, another one I haven't personally gotten to try out yet, but is on my list, is IEW's new speech program. Speech is something that I grew up doing in co-op. It is something that is really helpful to be done in a group setting and being able to learn to present in front of other people. So whether you use IEW speech or another speech curriculum, that's another one to keep in mind for the middle school, high school age. Another great topic to tackle with your high schoolers is worldview, and specifically a biblical worldview. My mom had taught all 7 of us kids using Understanding the Times. This is a big old thick book. It does have video resources to go along with it, but it's definitely something you're going to have to do work on at home. But then you can come together at co-op classes and get to be able to discuss. This is really curriculum that is best worked through in a group, as there's a lot of discussion as you dig through and help to understand different worldviews, what they believe, why they believe it, how to discern what worldview something is coming from. Finally, for this high school, middle school age, I would recommend the Victus study program. So this one is a little bit shorter, so if you're going to use it, it might be a better study for a semester, or you could possibly pair it with other resources. This is going to teach your kids study skills. It's going to walk them through how to set goals, how to plan for the future, and then how to set up your own student planner and organize and have good study skills. So this is a great one. It does also have a video-based option that you could watch in class as well. 2 other additional resources that are PE related and could work for any age group is the Homeschool Family Fitness Guide. So this is one, I have not personally used it, but I have purchased it and looked over it. It looks really interesting. It not only gives you different games or activities you could use with your kids, but it also has them work through memorizing the major bones in the body, it has them learn about the different muscles, and then as you're working on different workouts or different games, it's going to teach them how those things are moving or how your body is moving and how it's learning from those things. It has fitness tests, it has different workouts, and of course it has all those fun games like dodgeball and other things. So if you were looking for something to incorporate for your co-op, this might be a great one. It has ideas for all ages. Last but not least is Balavizics. This is something that can be used, I would say all ages, but really it's probably more elementary and above. This is rhythmic exercises and motions with either a ball or with a beanbag that help your child to gain balance. It helps, it's sort of a full body workout, but it also is working their brain. So they've actually got all sorts of activities and different things you can utilize in here that are going to help your children not only complete the exercises, but actually doing fun things like learning how to spell certain words while you're doing this. As you're doing this rhythmic movement with the balls and with the beanbags, your children are going to be able to solidify things in their mind easier. So it actually works as more of like a mental PE and having that physical movement activity. This is a really fun one. I'm hoping to teach this one next year in our co-op. The only thing about this one is it does require a little bit more space, as you want to be able to have a room that you are able to use balls and beanbags in and not cause trouble. So there you have it, 20 different curriculums you can use in your homeschool co-op. Let me know your favorites down below, or if you have additional ideas, I would love to hear them. And then check out this playlist right here to learn more about curriculum you can use in your homeschool next year. Talk to you guys later. Bye.